Today I'm going to talk about uterine prolapse or pelvic organ prolapse. Now this is a condition which a lot of women suffer from. It's very common, but a lot of women are also embarrassed to talk about it. So today I'm going to discuss uterovaginal prolapse. Now what is uterovaginal prolapse? What happens is that the organs which are in the pelvis, which is the uterus and the bladder which lies in front of the pelvis, and the rectum which lies at the back of the pelvis, these are the pelvic organs, are normally supported by strong muscles and tissues. Now as life goes on, the stresses and strains causes these muscles and ligaments to weaken, and then the uterus along with the bladder and the rectum may slowly descend downwards and bulge into the vagina. Now the person then feels a sensation of bulging in the vagina. Sometimes it may descend so much that it may be visible outside the vagina. Now why does this happen? Some people have a genetic predisposition, weak tissues and muscles, they might get it. Another important factor is natural childbirth. After a vaginal delivery, particularly multiple vaginal deliveries or difficult and long deliveries predispose to genital prolapse. Also, any condition which increases intra-abdominal blood pressure like heavy weightlifting, obesity, chronic cough or constipation with straining when you're moving your bowels, all these increase the risk of genital organ prolapse. The patient suffers from quite a number of symptoms. Initially it starts with a sensation of fullness or heaviness in the vagina, something coming down. They might feel a dragging pain in the lower abdomen or the back, a feeling of tiredness. Sometimes even the bladder or the uterus may be visible outside the vagina and they can feel it or see it as a bulge. If the bladder descends downwards, which is called a cystocele, then it may be difficult to empty the bladder and the patient may have to push up on the vaginal wall to help her empty. Sometimes she cannot empty properly and then she gets repeated urinary infections and sometimes incontinence, which is leakage of urine. When there's a rectocele, which is the back passage bulges down, then passing a bowel movement may be difficult and she may have to press down on the back passage to empty the bowel. Finally, she may also have sexual dysfunction and dyspareunia, which is pain or discomfort during intercourse. So the patient does suffer from a number of problems. So in this case, she needs to consult her gynecologist and find out what the treatment options are. There are a number of treatment options, conservative or surgical. Now the option has to be modified to suit the patient. A number of factors are taken into account. The patient's age, whether she wants to have any further children, what she herself wants, that's very important. And also if she's fit for surgery or if she has any other medical complications for which she may not be suitable for surgery. So all these are taken into account by your doctor, and after discussing with the patient, the treatment is decided on. The treatment may be conservative. In the first stage, we start with exercises, like Kegel's exercises, where you contract and pull up the muscles of the vagina and the perineum to strengthen the passage. A patient may be referred to a physiotherapist who is trained in urogynecology, who might prescribe a regimen of treatment. So this can be done in the first stage. Another conservative treatment is the use of vaginal pessaries. Now a pessary is a ring or a plate which can be inserted into the vagina by your gynecologist. The size varies depending on the size of the prolapse, and the pessary may be made of rubber or silicone material. Once the pessary is introduced into the vagina, it holds the vagina up, and along with it, it holds up the organs, and the patient has immediate relief from her symptoms. And this has to be changed every few months. This is particularly useful for patients who do not want surgery immediately, for patients who are ill or aged and unfit for surgery. So this can be a temporary measure. And finally, of course, the option is surgery. Surgery again can be vaginal surgery, it can be abdominal surgery or a combination of both. Again, it is chosen depending on the patient and her symptoms and the severity of her condition. Vaginal surgery usually involves removal of the uterus if the patient is nearing menopause or postmenopausal and does not need her uterus. And along with that, the bladder and the rectum have to be pushed into position through a surgery performed through the vagina. Normally, incisions are given in the vagina and normal stitches are used to put the organs back into place. Sometimes graft materials may be also added to add further support. Sometimes an additional sacrospinous fixation can be done in which the vaginal vault is fixed to the internal bone. Abdominal surgery can be done laparoscopically, robotically, and again the patient's vagina is held up and fixed with graft material to the ligaments inside the body in front of the spine. So the treatment has to be modified depending on a patient's condition. When ladies, treatment is available for uterovaginal prolapse, please consult your doctor and get the necessary treatment.